Welcome to another episode of Day Sports. You can see that things are looking really, really different. I've finally managed to rope my brother into joining as a co-host. Tom, how you doing?
Good, mate. It's been taking your whole NRL season pretty much of harassing me to come join this. So I finally caved and went and brought some shit, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are after many, many tins of 4X where I pretty much had to bribe you and just whispering sweet nothings into your ear about joining the podcast and getting involved. Finally got there, so that's worked out well for me. Hopefully everyone that does listen. Actually, before I jump into everything as well, shout out to everyone in America that seems to be listening. There seems to be some US fans out there, so if you are listening or watching or whatever, do reach out because I'd love to hear from you because that's amazing. But yeah, hopefully it's not as boring just hearing my voice, and it is great for me because I'm not just sitting here talking to myself like some crazy person. So glad to have you here, Tom. It will make my life a lot easier. So we'll get into it all. Now, before we get started, make sure you do like, subscribe, follow. Like I've mentioned over the last few weeks, we are going to be giving away an NRL jersey to one lucky person. That giveaway is going to be happening over on the Instagram, so you've got to be following over there. I'll be announcing that probably next week, so do keep an eye out for that. But again, going to be on the Instagram, so make sure you get around it. Very, very keen to be giving that away. We'll be going probably up until the season starts and pretty much go from there. So
Yeah, so it's a round one, I reckon.
yeah, I reckon like round one
So
or
jump
something.
on board.
Yep. So it doesn't matter what team you go for, whatever it might be. We'll pretty much buy whichever one you want. You can pick that off their website or whatever, and it'll be getting sent straight your way. So we've got a bit to get through today. A little bit of rugby league and a whole lot of cricket. Maybe a thing or two about a punch on, but outside of that, there is plenty. And again, make sure you are following because we are coming into the rugby league season. How's that got you feeling, Tom? We've been without rugby league for many, many months now, and we're just about to.
Tingling.
Oh,
Absolutely tingling thinking
yes.
about rugby league coming back.
Yeah.
It's sick. This weekend we've got, pre-season challenge kicking off, so the next couple of weeks. So it'd be good. Love my cricket as well, so it's been enjoyable off season, but yeah.
It
Rugby
has,
league
and
takes
that's
priority.
yeah, and like doing this whole like podcasty like content creation thing over the last year. Like my girlfriend was cheering once the rugby league season came to an end, and that is just the old sneaky where it's like straight into cricket. It's just a never-ending cycle, but nothing
With
quite
the Uno
hits.
reverse card.
Yeah, the old return to sender straight back to you type of thing. And
Yeah.
nothing does hit quite like the rugby league, so very keen to get back in that one. I'm going to be diving headfirst into the shallow end of the pool, just jumping straight into it. I'm that keen, so I know you're going to be keen to get around it as well. Like you said, pre-season challenge, it does kick off Friday. Getting a little taste of the teams that are going over to Vegas before they go and cause absolute chaos. So very, very keen for that one. But the pre-season challenge, it's been going for a couple years, I believe, probably the last like 2 or 3.
I think it's been 2 years. Pretty sure like 2023 was the first year the NRL decided to throw up a bit of cash for the winners of the preseason challenge and have a bit of a tournament out of it. But it seems to be for the people who win the preseason challenge, there's not a whole fucking lot that happens after it.
Yeah, no, it hasn't gone super well for the teams that have won the 100Gs the last few years. So,
No.
like I said, 2023, so Manly won it, and they missed the 8. 2024, the Brisbane Broncos won it, and of course missed the 8 last year in spectacular fashion. So they had the 100Gs, but everything else went to shit during the season.
Yeah, I think both teams had 100Gs for a mad Monday, and not a whole lot else happened.
Yeah,
Cooper John, seems to be a common thing really with pre-season challenge. Manly win, fall off a cliff. Brisbane win, fall off a cliff. Cooper Johns wins MVP, falls off a cliff. So not too many good things happen after pre-season challenges.
Yeah, every single one of those were bounced out in straight sets, that's for sure. But yeah, 100Gs could do a pretty fucking good Mad Monday, to be fair. But
I'm not going to indulge into what 100Gs could buy.
Well, there could be some sort of bags, whether they are brown paper bags or otherwise.
There'll be none of the clear variety at Roosters after Uncle Nick has put the foot down.
But after Uncle
Nick. We won't talk anymore on that.
Yeah, fucking, if anyone's going to be slinging the brown paper bags, it's got to be Brisbane Broncos. Somehow managed to squeeze Ben Hunt into that salary cap.
Yeah, there's a good chance that 100K just got put aside, sent Kevy on his way, and then they've somehow signed Benny Hunt for mad unders. Yeah, that's going to be one of the greatest ball pulls of all time.
Yeah, he walked into Madge's office and Madge just pulled out a brown paper bag of cash and plonked it on the table in front of Dozer and just went, go Dozer, and just got him in and around it. It was what I reckon's probably happened. But
Yeah,
yeah,
good chance.
good to have rugby league back. There's going to be so much to chat about over the next few weeks with things leading up to the Indigenous and Māori All-Stars going at it. Obviously, trials over the next few weeks, but we do have these Vegas teams. So Sharks versus the Warriors, and then Panthers versus the Big Milk on Saturday. Team lists are out, so we've had our first team list Tuesday. Have you had a chance to run your eyes over that bad boy?
Yeah, I had a squizzy this afternoon after work, and yeah, I think I'm pretty confident with the Wars turning up for sure, since they seem to have named full strength pretty much 13. So yeah, there's a good chance I think they're going to turn up and put an absolute rugby league thumping on the Sharkies for at least the first 40 minutes. But wouldn't be surprised if some guys get rested in that second half to give some up and comers a run. So yeah, I think I'll confidently be taking the Wars 1-12.
Ooh, 1 to 12.
1-12, I'm a fan of. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I'm up the fucking Wars, bro. I'm going 13 plus for the Wars because they are at least probably for a little bit rolling out pretty much what their team's going to look like to like most positions, I'd say. Interesting
Yeah.
one, they got Lukey Metcalf in there at oh, I just remembered something about Luke Metcalf, but they got him there at halfback, which is great if you're like into Supercoach or fantasy because he's super cheap and I think he's going to be killing it. He's been a gun for the last few seasons, was out for most of it last year because of the broken leg. But I saw the Warriors, they put up some photos the other day of like Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and a few of the other like Samoan boys that are in the team. And they managed to like put Luke Metcalf in there. You look at the comments and they're like, oh, Luca Metcalfy and stuff like that. It was proper classic. They're just like, yeah, he's an honorary
Honorary
USO.
Uso.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. So it'll be funny to see Luca Metcalfe go out there for the Warriors. But yeah, like a lot of the trials, it is a bit of a revolving door because, you know, you go see the first 13 or whatever, see the interchange, and then there's reserves up to about 30. It's pretty much like all the Reddies, all the young
Yeah.
fellas that get a go.
Because what's pre-season is just like unlimited interchange. I'm pretty bloody certain. So
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah,
like,
like I know. Where did we go watch? We went and watched Titans and Dolphins last year, and same thing. I think it was the Dolphins had their full starting lineup pretty much, and just went
yeah.
all of about two players. So I think Jack Bostic might have stayed out there, and then the rest come off. So
Yeah. Oh, that
yeah,
was literally like I was watching the Manly Wynnum Seagulls play the Broncos like in the trial last year, and they were literally having players like swapping jerseys at half time because they were just
yeah,
obviously
that's
feeder
right.
clubs, so it's just like it's all
Yeah,
interchangeable type of thing. So it was just blokes all over the place. One that I do notice at number 21 in the Resi is Jet Cleary. He might even be getting a run. The younger brother of the Prince, he could be going out there for the Wars.
yeah, that would be hell interesting to see him get a run. So, um, from all reports, there's a good chance. You know, he's working towards getting a call up. So
Yeah, I think it'll be a few years now because Webster's come out pretty much been like, yes, slow your roll. Like he's pretty young, so
yeah,
he's got plenty of time to develop. And
which is a good thing though. Like I seen the thing today that I was reading about Ash Taylor, and years ago it was, you know, they thought he was going to be the next big thing, you know, coming out of Brisbane, and probably took off from Brizzy a bit too early and headed to the Titans when he, you know, his game was far too underdeveloped. So it's probably a good thing that they're holding him back and not just throwing him into the deep end because he's fucking Nathan Cleary's brother.
yeah, like
And they're letting him sort of forge his own way into playing first grade. So I think that's good because yeah, I hate seeing these young guys, almost like Tom Dearden when he was at the Broncos, got thrown into it when it was a shit show, and then all the pressure got put on his shoulders and he flaked. Went to the Cowboys and see what he's doing now at the Cows. So
fuck, I
yeah,
love Tom Dearden.
I think a bit of time for especially halves, especially young halves or like a fullback or something, having a bit of time on their side instead of getting thrown into first grade is always a good thing.
Yeah, particularly halves. Like, unless you got your freaks like your Nathan Clearys and guys like that, like it just seems to be the trend that they really start to come into their own towards their late 20s, like early 30s
Yeah.
type of thing. Like that's when you get like the real maestro kind of halfbacks come through. So yeah, letting Jet Cleary marinate over there in New Zealand a little bit longer, I think, before getting a call up. I'm not too
Marinated in
sure
the
if
Kiwi waters.
yeah, that's it. Like bless him in the Fjordland or
Rub
whatever.
off a bit of SJ on him.
Yeah, well that's it. Well, SJ is just going to be coaching everyone over there anyway. Um, and then you reckon he'd get along pretty well with Matty Johns? Like that brotherly dynamic there. Like imagine having to be the brother of Joey Johns and then vice versa with Nathan Cleary. You reckon there'd be a bit of
Yeah,
similarities going on there?
there's a bit about that.
But I'm
There's a
not too
bit
sure
of
if you
Matty
saw
about that.
um, like the Levels podcast where they had Gus Gild on. I think it was towards the end of last year. Did you see that one?
Nah. Oh, with Gus, maybe. Not too sure. Can't remember now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Gus basically just goes on to, kind of step out his plan about a lot of those younger players and saying like a lot of them should not be seen any like first grade or anything like that until they're at least like 21 years old, instead of throwing them in at like this ridiculous early age. And, like you're saying, so man, there's like massive step up, it seems. And a lot of them like, might burn out a little bit too early instead of giving them that time to develop. And yeah, like there's only just like those handful that are going to step into it, I guess, at that ridiculously young age. And those are like your Greg Inglis's and guys like that are just freaks of nature that fucking jump in there and get it done. So
goes across sort of any sport though, I guess. Like you always see young guys getting thrown into the deep end, and 9 times out of 10 not coming out of it any better than what they went into it. So yeah, I think Gus, that's a great plan on his behalf. Sort of waiting to blood their guys a little bit older. So yeah, I think it's a good thing all in all.
And then second game, like we're saying,
Some of the finest.
we got Penny Panthers at Shark Park out of versus
Shark Park.
Yeah, up the big milk on the Saturday. So who you taking in that one?
I think I'm still going to run with Penrith. Even both teams, compared to the Warriors game, both teams have still quite a few people out, nearly their whole starting team. I think Penrith probably still has a little bit more experience than some of the guys who are playing for the milk. So yeah, I know they got like Guy and Eisenhuth and a few other, not going to say experienced heads, but more blooded heads in their team compared to Canberra. So yeah, I think Penrith again will just get the job done. I think you'll see a high interchange from both teams. But yeah, Penrith.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I see Isaiah Papali's out there as well. He's just going to be ridiculous for Penrith, I think. But a couple of names. Oh, it's ridiculous. I honestly could barely tell you any of the players on the Canberra team that they're running out. There's just a whole lot of just blokes getting out there and having a crack. But there's a couple of names that do stand out. One of them, if it is the guy that I'm thinking of, is Jordan Martin, number 8 for Canberra, who's got one of the best mullets of all time. I'm keen to see him get out there.
Yeah, he does very much have that baby face, nice guy in the front, party in the back.
All business
go about him. So yeah.
And then another one that stands out for me.
Very nice mullet.
Yeah, and then another one that stands out for me is Chevy Stewart. He played a few games for the Milk last year. But there's one, I don't know if you were at it or not, or it might have just been me and the missus that went to it. I was there at Suncorp. I dare say it was even raining, and
he was just exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah. Well, he was just copying bombs after bomb after bomb.
Can't catch a ball, fame Stewart.
Yeah, Chevy of Dick for Fingers Stewart, but
they were proper. Yeah, I feel like let me Google it because I feel like he might have nearly been on debut that night.
He might have been.
Pretty sure Renault was just putting fucking foot grenades of footy balls coming down at him in the pissing rain, and the poor fella had to try.
Yeah, hold on to him. Enjoy these young fella. Oh, what's that? You turned 18 the other week. Enjoy these spirals in the wet. So yeah, he just got deleted by old Renault. And Renault was probably just doing it for the shits and gigs, to be honest. Like tactically it makes sense as well, but just to put the pressure on the young bloke.
Proper welcome the first grade moment.
Yeah, legit. But then another moment that I remember of that one, it was probably after one of those bombs. Chevy Stewart's taken a hit up of it, and Kobe Hetherington has just screamed out of the line and absolutely folded the poor bloke at half. Like, it was a
Yeah.
brutal impact. I don't know if he lost the ball or not, but he got absolutely nailed as well. So I'm very keen to see Kobe Hetherington just deleting bodies this year if Madge does give him minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see him in the starting lineup for the start of the season, even if it's in the back row.
Yeah, well,
Um,
literally.
so I could see, yeah, I could 100% see him starting this year, which is what he's wanted. So, and I think he'll take it with both hands. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so speaking of Waz and Penrith fans, there would be Panthers fans at the foot of the mountain that have filled up that lake around there with their tears after seeing James Fisher Harris in the Waz kit for the first time. They had photos of that coming out the other day. Waz fans would just be rock hard seeing that. And
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like for Penrith fans, it just looks so wrong with him being in another jersey, but at the same time, it just looks so right being in a Warriors jersey. Suits him very well, I think.
I was probably one of the biggest sneakies of the off season. That one. There was very much rumor, like there was transfer whispers going on everywhere about different players heading to different clubs. But yeah, the Warriors kept that one under wraps big
They
time.
just went yoink. That's another
Yeah,
one, eh? Like, I'm pretty sure I saw articles. It must have been today or yesterday about Tohu Harris, like being cleared by the NRL, basically go on his way into retirement or whatever. So that frees up quite a bit of coin for them. Do you reckon they could potentially do a little sneaky on Dilly Bags, who's may or may not looking to jump ship away from the poor Eels?
that's a sinking ship at Parramatta. So, especially after last season, yeah, I suppose I could probably see it happening. Maybe being a Kiwi himself, Dill Bags. Um, but yeah, it all depends on, I guess, on like what sort of money they'd be able to offer him, because I think he'd be on a pretty penny at Penrith, not Penrith, at Para, and would probably be able to, extend on that coin that he's getting. So yeah, I think it depends on what offer he gets, really.
Don't even put that out in the universe of him potentially going to Penrith. I swear if they just swooped in and grabbed him, Blaze Talangi, we'll swap you back, bro. Here you go. See ya. We'll
Blaze
take
Delaney
Dilly backs.
Blaze head to the centres, bra. We're taking Bill at 5'8".
Yeah, yoink. Thanks for that. But nah, super keen to get back into it. There's going to be so much coming up. Like I said, with the Māori and Indigenous All Stars, that's going to be in a few weeks. So I'll have plenty of stuff with that over the next few weeks. Do kind of our predictions. Might even do a bit of a team of the year or something like that. Do a prediction at the
Yeah,
start of
cool.
the
Run up
season
a
and at
team
the
of
end
the
of the
year.
season.
See how close of a sniff we can get, or predict a ladder or something like that.
Yep. And then each week, obviously, we're going to have our tips for each and every round. So you can follow that. Tell us how shit we are at tipping or how fucking good we are. I guess we're going to find out. Last year was a little bit of a disaster. Our family just didn't do well last year, I don't think.
I was doing rather well until Origin. Then I did a Manly and Broncos preseason challenge and fucking fell off a
And
cliff
cooked it.
after State
Well,
of Origin. Yeah, couldn't pick my nose pretty much. So
I was just
see how
fighting
we go this
demons.
year.
I was just fighting demons, like the entire time. But the old man picked up the wooden spoon in the comp that we were in. So
Yeah, yous must have been down some cash or something, because yous were just tipping roughies left, right, and centre.
nah, I had a feeling, bro. Trust me. You gotta just follow your nose
Got the good
sometimes.
juju, eh?
Exactly. Nah, it's going to be so much better this year. But one player that we're not going to be seeing in the preseason trials.
Ezra.
Anyway, yeah. So one player we're not going to see playing is going to be Campbell Graham. The fuck. Let me get my shit
Pull it
back together.
Pull it together. But yeah, we're not going to see Campbell Graham. He's fucking got the worst juju going around this last year and a half.
Yeah, I reckon he'd be starting to get up there with Ryan Pappenhausen and how unlucky he is. He's had injury after injury, like you said, out last year with the sternum and everything. There must be something going wrong for those two. There's someone out there with like bloody.
I reckon there is a witch doctor out there with a couple of voodoo dolls, breaking bones left, right, and centre on those two boys, because yeah, they are up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah, look, it's not good. So yeah, hopefully he comes back fit and fire, and it's going to be good for the bunnies, especially with old Wayne back in there on the in the hot seat, even though he coached him for all last year anyway. After Demetrio bit the
Wayne
dust.
Wayne coaching by association over the phone.
Yeah, literally. Like I think it was what's that? You know those videos that we watch, those ones?
Randy.
Oh yeah, Randy's like sport TV
Randy
or whatever.
Sports Bar.
Yeah, Randy's sports bar. That is like the greatest thing. Better than Lego, literally. And I haven't seen a video from him in ages, but he did like a real funny skit about the board for the Rabbitohs making him face Melbourne and then Penrith before giving him the sack, being like, "No, let him do it, bro. It'll be funny." Before they fucking sacked him. But no, so it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see how the Rabbits do go, but we'll get into that more into our
Yeah,
predictions and everything.
I reckon the Rabbits will. Yeah, I reckon they'll go pretty red hot under Wayne. Like the Trails looking fit, Jackie Wyden at the 6.
Jackie Whitten.
I think they'll go well.
Yeah, no, they should be sweet, but
They don't have. They don't have. Fuck, who was playing halfback?
There's about 15 different blokes.
They don't have Lachlan Ilias as a scapegoat anymore. So
Oh yeah,
we'll see
he
what
went off to the
happens.
Dargans. So yeah, but then they got that like young fella from Europe or whatever. So I don't know how much better.
Yeah,
Lewis
that's
Dodd or
right.
whatever his
Actually,
name is.
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting. But before we jump into all the cricket that's going on, did you see the proposed rule change for the sin bin and HIA? I think that came out today. Did you read about that at all?
No, I haven't.
Oh, so there's like they're tossing up, well, I don't know, someone's tossing up the idea of having it like if someone gets a head high or whatever, that would usually be a send off. They let them go off the field and have their HIA assessment, and only if it's a failed assessment would they get sent off. But you know how HIAs can take like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can have Tane Milne clothesline a bloke. Old mate's been stretching off. 15 minutes later, fails his HI, and then they send off Tane.
Yeah, nah.
That's a bit cool.
When you started saying it, I was like, oh, could be a fan of this. So then, when you make that point of though, yeah, if you know, especially if it's in the last 10 minutes of a game, and you got
exactly,
you're down, and you're drawn up or something like that, and you got to wait 15 minutes. Well, you're not going to have to wait 15 minutes because the game will be fucking over.
Well, yeah, or
but
Tane Milne's taking someone's head off, and then you wait, is he going to get sent off or not? And then again, last couple minutes gets sent off the field. So it'd be a bit of a weird one, especially if that happened in Origin.
Fuck, imagine Sawali literally flatlining Reece Walsh and then stay on the field, bro.
Yeah, I guess to stay on the field for like 10, 15 minutes. Like, there would be actual bottles coming at him, I reckon, after that.
Yeah, that would have been flashbacks to like the 80s.
Literally.
But the one rule change that I hope, they don't bring in is the kickoff rule that they're talking about over the 20 metre.
Oh, legit.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, no, I've seen all that. I talked about that last year, saying that like Gus Gill will actually pass away, and all the front rowers and RIP to the back fence, pretty much, if something like that did happen. Like, it'd just be ridiculous.
There's so far that you can go with how, like, James Graham's touched on it so much about how, if this is what you want to do, you're playing the wrong sport, pretty much.
Exactly.
We can only make it as safe as it can be to an extent, and after that, you're just killing the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen, like, over the last, 10 probably years, like, how significant, like, the game has changed and how HIAs and things like that, and obviously concussions are taken far more seriously. It's no longer, old mate getting full at line and, oh, no worries, bro, like, just get up and keep going. Like, it's just not like that.
Run it off, mate, you'll be right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who was it? It was Lindsay Collins that, who got hit and was playing the ball backwards and stuff like that. Like, that was a shocker. But it's not that where he would just been like turned around by the hooker and keep going, bro, you're all good. Like, it's no longer those days, luckily. So, but there's only going to be so much you can do, and you see, especially ex-players. I think I remember seeing, I think it was Paul Gallen talking about it. It was one of like a real brutal one, and again, it was just down to technique, like a guy getting his head in the wrong place. It's just one of those things. So unlucky, but no. Hopefully, we don't see a change like that, but. What do you reckon about all the cricket that's been going on recently?
Australia's been playing stick cricket in Sri Lanka pretty much.
It actually has been.
Pretty much. Besides Marnus, that's pretty much what I've seen.
Yeah. Oh,
just
bro.
Seeing Australia just facing Sri Lanka dishing up a whole bunch of help yourselves, really. That's all I've
Wait,
seen. That's all I've seen for about 3 days.
it's not
So
gonna lie. Like compared to the Indian series, it did start to get a little bit boring when we're just like every bloke in the team besides Marnus is scoring tons for fun. Speaking of stick cricket, I don't have any games on my phone. Like not a single game. Everything that's on my phone is generally just like either social media or something like video or photo related. I got one game on my
yeah,
phone. Can you guess what game that might be, Tom?
bit of stick cricket there,
I'm
lad.
gonna stick cricket. Yeah, it's fucking good shit. Like I remember
I
when I was going
downloaded it
over.
before we went over to WA, and I reckon I played about 4 hours of stick cricket on the
Oh
plane.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's like when I went to Thailand a few years ago. Exact same thing. I just sat there and just played stick cricket. I think the entire 8 hour odd flight over there. Like it was the only thing because I
Yeah,
can't sleep on flights, but got into that.
one of the
Yeah.
one of the all time games, stick
Oh,
cricket.
it is amazing. And I was showing you that video before we jumped in as well about I think it must have been in the test, but they put out like a clip of it recently about
Mm.
the last time the boys were over in Sri Lanka and they were getting out and just having all time blow ups in the sheds. Like I'm pretty sure you got T Head launching bats, you've got other people, carrying on, you've got Steve Smith rocking back and forth, whispering and talking to himself pretty much, getting angry at himself for getting out.
Stock standard smudge,
Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of like how he is, but
rain,
um,
hail, or shine.
yeah, it's just going to be something from Smudge. But you've spent plenty of time in and out of different cricket sheds and whatever else. Surely you've seen a blow up or two in your time. Can you think of any, either from yourself if you really want to out yourself, or from other
Um,
people? Maybe don't name names, but is there any that come to mind from some fucking all time blow ups?
I reckon one that probably comes to mind. I might have been like under 15s, six. I don't know. Four. I reckon it must have been under 16s. And I think I got out, going for a cut shot, chopped on. And I was filthy. Nearly knocked the stumps over with my bat on the way off, and got all the way off. Got into the sheds. Every bit of kick got thrown, and the last thing I could kick off was my shoes. And I remember kicking off my shoes, and I went to grab one, had my spikes, and went to throw it at a wall in front of me. And the hand must have been a bit heavy because I let go
Few
of it
too
a
many
bit too
wheat bix
soon.
that morning.
There was. I let go of it a bit too soon, and I just seen this shoe. It felt like slow motion to me. Go sailing towards this window, and then smashed into 1,000 pieces. And it was a
Was
pretty quick "please explain" from the president, and when you
Yeah, I can
paid for
imagine.
this.
Yeah, yeah. And what, you're like 14, 15?
Yeah, I was about 16 and had to scrape up whatever change I had at home to pay for a new
Yeah, I
window.
was gonna say, fess up to the parents, just for some money for me, please.
Any
But
donations?
that's a classic, eh? Like, there would be some hilarious ones. Are there any others that you've seen of other people that have been like great
Oh, I've seen a
laughs?
few. I've seen a few helmets and bats get launched. Like in saying that, I remember one of my mates. He had just brought this new Missouri helmet when they first came out, like the new models of them,
Hmm.
and he'd been in this slump of getting down the 90s for
Well,
about 2 months, and we were playing a rep game one day on a Sunday, and we were all sitting there filming him because we thought he was a lock to score
yeah.
100. Gets out on 98. And I remember watching him, this brand new helmet from about 30 metres away, peg it through the change room door was open, went through the door into a wall, and his helmet just smashed into about 1,000 pieces. But credit to him, he kept using the same fucked helmet for about 4 years after. So
Bloke's looking
couldn't
like
have
he's
been
been
too
in a
bad.
car crash with a mangled helmet on. But I rate that though,
Yeah.
launching the thing from 30 meters out and getting it through the door. Imagine being like sitting there, you're like in the seats and your teammates, and you're just watching this fucking helmet scurrying past you.
Yeah, no, wouldn't be
No
too
good.
fun. I've been
Did you,
sitting in the change rooms when I first started playing senior cricket a few times, and some older dudes come and throw their bats or helmets or whatever through the wall. So, yeah, that was a bit intimidating.
yeah, you just wouldn't want to be in there. But speaking about like Steve Smith and all that, like, could you imagine that you're just in the sheds whispering to yourself, blowing up, and then you got like Marnus prancing over you like a golden retriever just in your fucking ear the entire time? Like, it's okay, Smudge. It happens to all of us.
Oh, I reckon Smudge would want to give him the Roy and Warney treatment, give him the old hog pile,
Yeah, if I can blow his guts out of his ass or whatever, like you just about want to pull him
squash
in
his
half
guts out
sometimes.
of his ass.
Fuck, that would just shit, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes you just gotta say
I
nothing.
think there's a good reason that Marnus ends up on the most annoying list on Australian cricketers' videos all the time.
Oh yeah, like it's just become like a bit of a meme question to ask him now. They just like everyone knows it's Marnus. Even
Everyone knows
Marnus knows. Like it
Marnus.
gets to him and he's like,
He goes, "Oh, they probably said me."
everyone's said me, haven't they? And it's just like, mate, you must be a next level pest. But one thing I reckon I'd
Absolute
love to see
punish.
on Marnus is I reckon it'd be pretty good value after a couple tins, eh? I reckon on the piss he'd be fucking he could be good.
I don't know. I reckon he might hang around a bit longer than what you want him to.
Like one of those
I don't
blokes that just
know.
like doesn't leave.
I don't know. When you say Marnus on the tins, I'd almost think you'd end up with Marnus shadow batting in your kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bit of sleep, like sleep paralysis.
Oh, that's not what you want. Imagine that. Everyone's like, "Oh, fucking go home," and you come out in your hallway, go to get a
There's
glass of
always
water, and
there's
someone's
always
just, no,
there's always one there's always one bloke who can't take the hint when you're fucking too tired and want to go to bed.
We've definitely got one of those in our friendship group as well. But yeah, no, shadow batting Marnus at kick-ons would definitely be a thing. You'd come out in the kitchen and he'd just be playing shots. It'd be
Yeah,
ridiculous.
no,
But
that wouldn't be it.
yeah, so Sri Lanka and Australia obviously played the other day with Australia making them follow on and pumping them. I did a prediction video, well, like my tips and whatever last week for it. I pretty much said with the whole Consus thing, seeing who was going to be batting. A long time people thought Head was going to be batting. I pretty much said Travis Head's going to go out there and just blast him, and that's exactly what he did. And then Uzi's going to make like 100 odd runs off like 200 something balls. He made a little bit more than that. He made 200 runs, was he? I reckon he's pretty much locked himself in for the rest of the year at least in the Test side. Like, obviously, there's been a couple of, I guess he was a little bit skimp on runs in the India series, but I reckon he's going to be good to go for the Test Championship and definitely for the Ashes. I think we're going to see him maybe potentially have one last hurrah, but if he keeps scoring runs, then who knows with Uzi?
Yeah, I think Uzi will have one more sniff in Australia for the Ashes. I dare say I'd probably see him retire in Sydney at the end of that series because I think he's 38 now, Uzi. And obviously that knock's probably plenty enough to keep him in the team until the end of the Australian summer. So, I think he'll hang him up. I dare say I reckon he'll hang him up at the end of that series, and then there'll be some new blood to come in after that.
Yeah, we got plenty of players as well. Like a lot of people were even calling for Uzi to get dropped going into Sri Lanka for Sam Constance to take the spot. And it's just like, tell me you don't know anything about cricket, because if one man loves to play a little bit of spinny spin, it is in fact Uzi. Loves a sweep shot.
If one man loves a dust bowl more than the other, it's Uzi.
Yeah, king of the dust bowl is in fact Usman Khawaja. And then I don't know if you saw it the other day, and I don't even know if it's real, but for some reason, Sonny Bill tweeted out being like, "Oh, congrats! Like first bloke to make 200 runs in Sri Lanka or something like that." So I don't know where he got that one from. Old Gillespie, old Dizzy Heights has been done absolutely wrong on that one. He made 200,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, many years ago.
Bangladesh it was.
Was
and
it?
that was his last ever Test match. He got dropped after that. So who knows? Uzi might get dropped.
Yeah,
Uzi might be down. The Gillespie curse has been put on him.
200 runs overseas and you're gone, mate.
Yeah.
Jeez, could you imagine that? But then, like I was saying, Travis Head, he went out and blasted them, and he's probably my favourite player to watch at the moment. Like, he's just...
Travis Head was a bee's dick away from putting about 200 off 80 balls on Sri Lanka.
Yeah, like, he screamed past 50.
Yeah, I think you can probably lock Trav in for a few runs. Runs this next Test match as well, depending what sort of pitch Sri Lanka dish up.
Well, that's
could very well end up with a pitch that turns 3 meters sideways and bounces schooner height. So
yeah,
see what happens there.
See what they whip up with that one, which will be starting soon. But yeah, Travis, he went out there, I'm pretty sure, like first over, 3 fours, bang, 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 thanks for coming. Bowler's shaking in his boots already. He doesn't know what's going on. He's seen some Bazball like batting from Travis Head. Yeah. I reckon second over, he's already got the helmet off. Baggy green on, again, just pumping blokes left, right, and centre, making it look easy. Then there was that comparison photo with old Booney.
Yeah, there was Booney like for like, and I guarantee Trav had about 50 beers on the plane on the way over there as well.
Yeah, I reckon both of them, if they had a chance to sit down and just pillage runs and beers, they would get into it. And then while over
If
there,
he didn't have that many beers last night, he didn't have that many beers on the way over, he would have had it after he won the AB medal. That's for sure.
oh yeah,
The
so
boys
like
look like they indulged.
yeah, so it looks like the boys got into it yesterday. So like the cricket awards were on for Australia and whatever else. Travie Head, he wins the Allan Border Medal, super deserved. He's had a ridiculous, couple of series that he's played for the Test Championship, the one day series, and obviously everything he's done against India. Pretty much the only guy getting out there and scoring runs for a little bit. His back's probably hurt and needed a little bit of ice as well. But yeah, I
Needs
think
a
it was
bit of
like
ice on the finger.
yeah, yeah. Oh, imagine the carry on that would be coming from Travis Head at the moment.
Yeah,
There would
geez,
be
there would
some
have been some
photos
carry
and
on.
videos. But I think it was on Cooper Connolly's thing. Like there was a photo of him, and he looks like he's had about 100 beers and he's ready for about 100 more. Like
Boys
he was
had a
looking
good
good,
time.
Nick. And it looks like Bo Webster, the slag, he might have got into a couple beers as well. I reckon he'd go pretty
Slug.
well on it. The
Big Bo,
slag
I
gets
reckon.
around it.
Oh, big slug. I reckon it'd take him about 15 before they even touch the sides. Have you seen the
He's
size
a
of that
big
man?
boy.
He is a big bloody unit. That boy
Yeah.
could punish piss till the sun comes up.
Yeah, nah. And then, yeah, Travie had, he would just be carrying on about, oh, it wasn't my batting that got me there, it was all the bowling, just a bit more.
Yeah, he'd let him know.
Yeah, he'd let him know. So, yeah, good stuff from Travis Head. You know what? I reckon as well, though, when it comes to like cult heroes, do you reckon as a nation we get more around the batters or the bowlers? So
Oh,
I reckon we get it
100%,
more around the
100% the
bowlers.
batters.
I
Oh,
reckon we get around the bowlers more.
you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. Like, I feel like the ones that people will always bring up will be, obviously
Warning.
your Warney. It's going to be your Nathan Lyon. It's going to be your Johnson. Those Ashes
Glenn
series. It's
McGrath.
Glenn McGrath. It's going to be guys like that. Dennis Lilly. All of that. Jeff Thompson. It's all those guys. Like they just legendary. Yes, we've obviously had a lot of legendary batsmen and everything like that. But I feel like the carry on when like your Scotty Bollins of the world, like when something like that happens, it's next level. Like I just don't know if it's the same thing for batsmen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're huge in their own way, I guess, because someone will score really gritty, good 100, but you know, it's pretty ridiculous also when someone like Scotty will just roll out there and get 6 for 7 wickets because not too many people can do that, but there's a fair few people who will peel off 100, I guess. So
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like it needs to be like some real spectacular fashion where you got like your Sam Constance or whatever who's out there ramping Boomerang for people to just go crazy about it. But if you think about it, like on that Boxing Day test, Nathan Lyon getting that last wicket, and there's that photo of everyone, just the horseshoes around, and just like I'm pretty sure the whole nation all went up at once when that happened. Like I feel like it just maybe doesn't quite happen unless it's like a batsman maybe scoring the winning runs or something like that when it's been a massive chase. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, no. So I just feel like it's one of those things. One batsman that has been getting a lot of runs has been old Smudgy Smudge himself, Steve Smith, bringing up the 10,000 runs over there in
Steve
Gale.
Smith, aka Bonnie Blue,
Yeah,
after that
Steve.
photo come out, him holding the most makeshift sign in the world.
Old Steve Smith of Bonnie Blue fame, yeah, with his 10,000 runs. I reckon that could just about be the cover photo for this episode. I reckon old Smudge there. He's about to
Yeah,
just
good
get rid of that
chance.
piece of paper. Cadbury block, bang, into hand. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, that boy would have indulged in some chocolate. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think England and the Proteas are going to be shaking in their boots coming up to these series because, yeah, I think Smudge has found his eyes.
And his hands, which he's been
I don't
searching
know
for
about
both.
his hands. Boy did drop a couple of fucking sitters in that
Well,
in
which
that
one do you
Test
reckon he
series
found
against
first, the eyes
India.
or the hands? Did he use the hands to find the eyes, or did the eyes pick up the
Probably found the hands
hands?
before he found the eyes. I don't know. Might be where hand-eye coordination comes from.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But fuck yeah, if he's and like he was shaky there for a while. A lot of people thought he should just be hanging up the bat, and he went, yeah,
Mm,
nah, hang on, I'm just gonna put a few tons back to back to back. One thing though,
yeah,
him missing out on that 10,000 runs in Sydney in front of his home crowd, that was just shattering. It would have been elite. Like that's almost a run out on the field type of moment if he had got that in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I reckon you would have. I reckon there would have been a good chance of some shit like what happened with Buddy Franklin's
Yeah,
moment.
you're right there.
There would have been people. Yeah,
He's
there would have
drinking
been
that
people
beer too fast. We had to go. "Ugh."
No, we good. There would have been people piling onto the ground, I reckon. But I reckon if there's one person you can blame for that, it's Benny Scarf. That dude is a walk-in curse. He's got the Drake curse. He's got the Australian Drake curse about him.
Yeah, we don't need that, honestly. Like, yeah, just getting that one run over there in Sri Lanka and raising the bat just doesn't quite have the same ring to it that an entire fucking stadium getting ran into.
It is pretty Magoo, isn't it?
It is, but look, it is very much on brand for Smudge, that's for sure. Now he's just got his little marketing sign advertisement, so that's just going to be made into memes on memes, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Another player that was over there in Sri Lanka scoring tons and on debut as well was Josh Inglis. Fucking what a knock for him. I think he had a few shaky moments, but to get a ton on your debut, like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he took a few notes out of Travis Head's book because he didn't fuck around, that's for sure.
No.
No, it's good to see him finally get a crack at playing for Australia in something other than the short format. So I think the selectors are going to have a good headache when it comes to Test Championship and Ashes coming around because they're going to have Bo Webster who's been solid in his debut. Well, in his debut and this game that he's played now as well. And then of course we got Baggy Green, Cam Green coming back.
Exactly.
From back surgery, and then you got Inglis. If he can keep piling on runs, he's going to be asking questions as well. So, yeah, good on him. That was a good, decent knock, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he goes against some harder opponents.
Yeah, like you're saying, there's a ton of like kind of middle order batsmen and bowlers that are floating around, so many different options. There's even a weird world out there that the Bison somehow sneaks his way back in. You never know.
There could be some, fuck. Who knows? There could be a chartered plane with Bo Webster, Josh Inglis, and Cam Green on it that goes down, and Mitch Bison ends up back in the Australian team. You never know.
And I saw that speech he gave, or like the interview he was doing last night at the awards, saying that his like nephew's bowling like boomer in the backyard at him.
Giving him nightmares of chucking.
Yeah, well, bloody, that was something as well. Like, I think I'd sent you that meme of being like, is it un-Australian not knowing how to bowl? And I think it very much is. Like, if you're running up to the wicket and you got the form going on, and then you get to here and you're just chucking it.
Reminds me of this dude playing in a 7-a-side carnival that we played in last weekend. I think it was. Yeah. He mustn't play cricket a hell of a lot. He was running in, getting to about here, and then it was. I said, "Oh mate, what are you bowling? Right arm shot puts."
Oh no. Yeah, no, that's not what you need. And then it's the same thing as well. Like the telltale signs, you go to play a little bit of backyard cricket, a bit of beach cricket, whatever. So it's obviously, what did you call it? Right arm shot puts. It's those where they're just chucking it. And then the other ones, like they get the bat and they tap it sideways instead of like behind your foot or between your feet. Yeah. Like it's that weird down sideways.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Telltale style.
Oh, it's super awkward. I think that's straight up like hand in your passport, any identification, like that's enough. Like,
see, that should be on the. Fuck, what's it called?
The citizenship test or something like
citizenship test. How you tap your cricket bat. You're going to be able to bat and bowl coming into Australia.
Got to be an all-rounder if you're coming in. Another thing should be how do you put stumps in the ground?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see you using the face of the bat. Only a handle.
Well, I can appreciate that is a little bit more niche than your bowling and batting technique. But yeah, the amount of good cricket bats that we've seen in our time just have their face defaced by just stomping in a couple stumps.
Stumps going in anyway how they can.
But, and then, what is it? Thursday, the second test between Sri Lanka and Australia kick off in Galle. Now, my prediction for that one, we're going to put on 700 runs. We're going to make them follow on again, and we're going to wrap it all up really, really quickly. But you never know. It could be one of those ones that we're 5 for 50 after a couple of overs, because it could just, like Tom said, be one of those ones that turns 360 degrees on a dust bowl. Or Uzi's going to go out there and sweep them for 300. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it could go yeah, I think it just all depends on what Sri Lanka dish up because
Fucking
it's
not
anything
much.
like if it's anything like India, they're going to doctor the fuck out of that pitch, and it's going to be a dust bowl. So, um, yeah, we've got great spinners as well. So I think whatever they do, that we can do better. So
Yeah, we
I
got
think
the
Australia's going to.
secrets.
I think Australia's going to thump him one way
Oh
or
yeah,
another.
and
Be
we
a
got
bit
a
of
secret.
battle with the ball.
We got a secret spin weapon in Travis Head as well if it needs to be released. So that's all right. But
Bring
if
out
you're
to your
one,
head.
yeah, go to head. And if you're one player that surely has got to knock up 100, it's got to be Marnus after every other man and their dog's gone out there on that pitch and just thumped them. So surely he's due. I'd be jumping on Marnus to make 100 runs.
Yeah, he's going to have to indulge and put on a big score if he's any chance, getting a run this summer in Australia at the Ashes. So I wouldn't be surprised, if he does get dropped before or during the Ashes series for someone like Nathan McSweeney to come back in at number 3. Because, yeah, the dude really is in a form slump.
Yeah, no, we will have to see. But that all kicks off on Thursday, so very, very keen for that. Last of the little bit of Test cricket before we get through to the Test Championships, which is what, June, July, whenever it is over in England, and then obviously rolling
Yeah,
into
I
the
think
summer
it's
of cricket
June.
again. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we'll
I
have to
think
tee that
we
up.
go from.
Very keen for the Ashes though, which is going to be exciting. But I
Yeah,
think
that's for sure.
I think that's pretty much everything that we've got this week. We'll be back to you next week with all the footy and everything else that's going on. There's going to be a lot of trial games. We're going to be seeing who's going to be not making the 8 and who wins the preseason challenge. But again,
Put a
make
line
sure you
through
do
'em.
like, subscribe, comment as well. Let us know who you think is going to be winning this weekend. And we'll pretty much catch you next week and have a good one.